If there's one thing you can do that will make a difference as a student in the journalism school is to leave this place with clips, plural. 3 is a good number to shoot for. Sounds funny hearing it, but generally employers don't care that much about your GPA. They'd rather see what you can do. Okay. Presumably, if you study hard, you can get a 4.0, but they want people who can produce something. So make it your assignment to get a clip this semester. You're working on feature stories that I think, I'm biased, but I think could easily get published with some follow-up on your part. Do connect with Vanessa, Chloe, or Ryan after class with some of your stories that are falling into place as we speak. You want to beat the deadlines on these too, so they're not left hanging at the last minute. Who wants to go first back there?
I'll start.
Okay, Vanessa.
So, hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm in my 4th year, I'm about to graduate. I'm a student in the journalism school. I'm the current editor-in-chief of the paper. I've been with it for 4 years. So these are some of my colleagues. This is Chloe, she's our copy chief. And that's Ryan, who's our sports editor. I guess to start off, I can't stress how important enough it is to get published throughout college. I find a lot of students who are going into the journalism field who, they graduate, they get out, and they don't have any publishings or clippings to show for it. And, some of you might be interested in broadcast or, a different form of medium, essentially. And I can't stress enough that, having wide-ranging experience in print, in broadcast, and all these different areas is really important. And so, I've heard a lot of different people say, I'm not really confident in my writing, or I'm not going into print, but when you have those things on your resume and you're looking to get hired, they're looking for a wide range of experience, because at the end of the day, journalism is journalism. It doesn't matter if you're doing social media, broadcast, or print. So, most student newspapers, what I would say, just so you're aware, do gatekeep a lot of publishing. They don't really let students, across the campus submit. They have advisors that really choose what goes in the paper. And the one thing that's unique about us is that we're entirely student-run. We're independent of a journalism school. We still have, good relationships, of course, but it's entirely student-run. So what that means is anything you submit to us, we really do look to publish. And we are looking to journalism students like you in this class, because you do have experience, obviously, from learning from Professor Borcher, from your other classes. We're looking for people to follow AP style, and how it works is you submit your story to us. Typically, you'll talk to us in advance, so we're kind of aware. Tell us what the story is that you want to submit. You submit the story, and we have 4 different sections. We have news, opinion, arts and entertainment, and sports. We have some few students here and there who are like, I want to submit a real estate story or finance, and usually we'll fall into one of those categories, and if not, we'll always, find a way to put it in the paper of some sort. Our section editors will go in, edit that story. We'll have our copy team, we'll have our copy chief, Chloe, go in and edit it. We'll do production day on Saturday, and then it'll get published in print and online the following week. I don't know if you have noticed, but there's new emails. They're called the Chief Free Press emails, so you probably have seen them with like my little face in the corner, and they're the weekly newsletter with the top stories of the week, which is something new that we've started. So that way, you're also looking to not just publish but get some viewership. There's a little icon in each part of the article that shows how many views it has. So, that could also look good when you add that clipping on your resume and that hyperlink when, an employer looks and says, oh, this story has this many hits. So that's just one thing, I guess one aspect of the publishing phase. Trying to think, we have 4 more issues left, so just be mindful of that, which means we have we're working on an issue right now for this week, which we'll publish next Monday. After that, it'll be down to 3, so we're going to be ending roughly around the end of April. After the end of April, there's no more publishing. Of course, we can still do online publishing, but I'd recommend against it just because there is something special about having that physical clipping as well, in addition to the web clipping that you can just, 2 for 2. I'll go ahead and let Chloe and Ryan speak a little bit. Add to it,
Yeah, I can go. I'm a section editor for sports, so my job is to get the sports section up and running for the Scarlet and Gray. And there's something really unique about writing sports, because I didn't really initially go into college thinking, hey, I'm going to be a sports writer at all. And that might not be where I go with my career, but getting that experience in college, being able to be a sports reporter, going to games, getting quotes from coaches, being able to talk to the athletic directors for whichever sport you're covering is super important and a skill that you will need to have when you go into the next level of journalism media. And if you want to be a sports writer, it's a perfect opportunity. You could beat a sport, meaning that you could cover all the games for a sport, be able to actually get a good sense of how the team works and get quotes from players on the team, and you really develop a relationship with the team so that when it's closer to the end of the year or even during the season, you can do feature stories on certain players on the team that you've been covering, and you get a really good quality interview with them, and it goes on the paper, and it gets that next level of journalism. Oh, it's good. So you get that next level of journalism, and I really think that doing sports journalism, sports writing is something that is essential that you need when you leave college. So far, I've published over 17 papers so far on Scarlet and Gray, and I started at the beginning of this year. So you can really get stuff going like that, like Professor Busher said, like try to go for 3, but when you're writing sports, you get material out like that. So it's really a good opportunity to get stuff published, and you can get it done really quickly when it comes to sports.
Does anyone have any questions about how to submit your, yes?
So you said that if we submit, you guys will like help look over it and stuff like that. So like, I'm not the strongest writer, but I have great ideas. I feel like when it comes to sports, so I have like I don't know a pretty good paper. So like you guys could probably help me tune it up a little bit more if I was to submit it. Is that what you guys are saying?
Yeah, because when you submit it, it'll go straight to the section editor for where your paper goes into. So if it goes to the sports category, I'll look at it, I edit it, and then I give it over to Chloe. She looks over it, she edits it, and then it goes over to the paper.
And you said we have to just get in contact with you guys, like not just email it.
Yeah, just preferably email. I guess I don't know how we can.
I will pull up the web page. Actually, you can post an announcement on Canvas too.
Yeah. So he'll post an announcement. We're pretty accessible. If you just go to our website, and honestly, you click my email, so we can shoot it out from press email via you, Ryan's, Chloe's, honestly, any of us, because we all check our emails and say, hey, I have this story I want to pitch to write. Because some of you might already have stuff that you want to publish, or you want to kind of rework, or let's say you need ideas. Then you can pitch some stuff to you or any of our section editors can.
Ryan, did you do the online 310? Or have you had 310 yet?
I'm in online right now.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
I hate the online thing. All I see are initials. Okay, so everybody knows, as these 3 know, you are all preparing a self-publishing package that includes headlines, subheads, images, captions, credits, links, hashtags, all that, okay? When you contact the folks at the student newspaper, what they're mostly interested in will be the text. So prepare a Word attachment that you'll send off to the editors along with some images. If they include anything else from class, consider it extra, the cream on top or something along those lines, because they're not obligated to publish anything for that matter. But we're doing the kitchen sink for self-publishing purposes. For the student newspaper purposes, you need text and some images. And even the images are optional, I suppose.
And if you have, what I'll add to that is if you are not as experienced with photos or graphics, we do have a great photo and graphic team who can help you out. I mean, we've done like exponentially really good this semester because we got a photojournalist to work for us. And we got a graphic designer who wants to go into print. So they're both really good. And so if you're doing, I don't know, a feature on a player or, I don't know, because usually we do a photo for that. But any kind of story, we have a graphic designer who can also make something really nice. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have any art for this story. You can always tell us. Obviously tell us in advance. Don't reach out to us on Saturday when we're editing your story and go, oops, I forgot. Usually we always figure it out somehow because that's how the newspaper goes. But we can always help you out too with that process.
Okay, one more time, I probably missed it. What would you say is the deadline for getting into the final issue this semester.
Let me look really quick, 'cause we have 4 more issues.
Yeah, walk backwards.
I'm gonna say, right now, I'm gonna say the final deadline, April 13th. It's not very far.
Okay, a couple weeks. That gives you time, gang. I think you all have material that you could submit at this point. It's going to need some additional editing along the way, but if you want to get in that final issue, you got to get an attachment over to the section editors by April 13th. And I will post contact information for everybody, follow up, and all the rest. Do you have any other questions for Vanessa, Chloe, or Ryan? Yes, Matthew.
Would you say that, like, you guys, you say you've been in there for 4 years, would you say that because you've published so many times, this could be a dumb question, but because you've published so many times, your writing has gotten exponentially better, like, to where you guys can just write and it doesn't even come to you?
Yeah, I mean, I will personally speak to that. I think I have like around 40 to 50 stories published, but it's like I've been here 4 years, so it's like that's why. Started off as a staff writer, worked my way up to news editor, then managing editor, and now I'm EIC. But I mean, I remember when I started out, people were tearing my stories apart for the better of me, of course, right? They were awesome people. But my writing has gotten so better. I mean, we needed to do a last minute story this Saturday on Taylor Swift, and I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, I'm not like a Swiftie, and I pulled out a story in less than an hour and a half, 600 words with sources, everything I needed. And honestly, I just sat down, and once you do it so many times, you just have a template in your head of, oh, intro here, quote here, this other opinion here, or whatever, and you just, it's like a recipe. And same thing for sports, I know. Obviously, whatever section you write the most in, you're gonna get a formula for that section. So I know for me, I have experience in news, A&E, and opinion. I think the one story I didn't touch is sport. The one section I didn't touch was sports, but I'm sure if I tried, I could figure that out too. But I would say it's immensely helpful because, a lot of times you have to think about how you're gonna stand apart when you apply outside of college, and a lot of times I've seen, because I've applied to internships with like different media companies, and they actually give you a test and they have you write something. I know because I applied to NBC News and I made it to the final round. Fortunately, I did not get selected, but I made it to the final round, and so I figured out their whole system. So I went through 2 different rounds of test prep where they tested me on AP style on my writing, and they would say, okay, write a story, you have 3 hours. And I have to sit down and just write 3 hours. And it was political reporting, so it was a little difficult. But I made it to the final round, and I don't think that would have been possible if I didn't have this experience. Because, in class, like, I've taken Zobel, he teaches AP style, I've taken all these different professors, but having the actual experience of doing it every week, and it's like only like 400 to 600 words. If anyone writes here on a daily basis, that's nothing. Like, we write discussion posts like that, which are not fun, I'm gonna assume, for everybody here. So I would say definitely, you guys can speak to that too.
One more?
What do you do?
I'm the copy chief. So every week I go through and I edit all the stories. That's the other thing I wanted to mention, because I don't know if are you requiring AP style?
No, but it's encouraged.
So that's also not a problem if you do submit something that's not in AP style, because we will go in and help it get to that point.
Okay.
And I'll add one because I realized I forgot something. So a lot of us are graduating. I'm graduating. A lot of because we're in what's called paid stipend roles, so luckily we do get paid. It's not a lot, again, so way below the poverty line, keyword stipend. But most student newspapers don't pay their workers at all. It's mainly like a club, do it for free. So what I'll say to that, it's really great to get some additional pay for all the work that we're doing. A lot of the roles will be opening up. I know news will be, like a news editor role will be opening, some copy roles opening, because people are graduating. And so I know I'm graduating, and so if anyone's interested in applying for editor-in-chief, applications are open. You can easily pick up the newspaper and the little barcodes there, and you just fill out a form. But it's also a great role too. I would say if you're looking to go, doesn't matter what field of journalism or what sector, like being editor-in-chief has helped me a lot to try to get any kind of job security. So.
Okay, thank you.